Jeff Bezos' Beverly Hills house. The mansions of billionaire Amazon founder Jeff Bezos seem to be growing endlessly. When he's not shooting himself into space, he's searching for another piece of real estate to add to his already remarkable collection. Bezos most recently acquired a third residence on Miami's upscale Indian Creek Island, joining the two multi-million-dollar properties he bought there the previous year. Reports state that the millionaire intends to live in his newest house while demolishing the other two. This is a daring decision given that the island's 300 acres only contain 41 residences. The computer tycoon declared last October that he was moving there from Seattle, where he had lived for the previous 30 years. In an Instagram post, he wrote, "I have so many amazing memories here and I've lived in Seattle longer than I've lived anywhere else. Although the relocation is fantastic, I made this decision emotionally. I shall always hold a small part of my heart in Seattle." Bezos will now reside in Miami, although he still owns a sizable number of homes spread out around the nation. For example, the founder of Amazon broke the record for the most expensive acquisition in Maui, Hawaii, in 2021 when he bought a 14-acre compound there for $78 million in an enigmatic transaction. More on that later. This made his real estate assets worth an incredible $578 million. Over the years, the founder of Blue Origin has also acquired other properties in his state of Washington, several apartments in New York City, a couple of expansive estates in California, a ranch in Texas, and numerous locations in Washington, D.C. Here's a list of all of Jeff Bezos' U.S. residences to date. Extended period Seattle estate. Bezos made a $10 million down payment on what would become his principal residence for the next several decades in 1998, a few years after founding Amazon. It consists of two houses, 20,600 and 8,300 square feet, respectively, on approximately 5.3 acres in Seattle's exclusive Medina district. Bill Gates resides there as well. The home has 310 feet of private shoreline next to Lake Washington, a boathouse, and a water slide. The native of Albuquerque spent $28 million renovating the property in 2010. Bezos is said to have purchased the 24,000 square foot home next door, along with an extra 5 acres in the same year. At the time, the Tudor-style property was marketed for $53 million, although it's unclear how much the millionaire paid for it. Bezos used this most recent addition, an indoor and outdoor pool, as his primary house. Bezos moved to Florida, yet he still owns this enormous compound. Manhattan flat for rent. The next year, Bezos allegedly paid Tommy Mottola, an executive at Sony Music, $7.65 million for 3 apartments in Manhattan's Lincoln Square neighborhood's Century Building. It is possible that Bezos had to provide funds to finish the improvements because the music executive allegedly listed the condos while they were still in the middle of restoration. It was thought to have served as a pied-à-terre for Bezos, his parents Miguel and Jacqueline Guys Bezos, and his then-wife, Mackenzie. He reportedly spent $5.3 million for an additional 1,725 square foot unit next door in 2012, more than 10 years later increasing his presence in the iconic Upper West Side skyscraper. These units seem to be owned by Bezos. Enormous ranch in Texas. In 2004, Bezos expanded his holdings in real estate by acquiring Figure 2 Ranch located in Texas, somewhat to the north of Van Horn. The price Bezos paid for the expansive 30,000-acre estate is unknown. It was purchased from lawyer Ronald Stasny, who allegedly spent millions remodeling the main home, a one-story gray stucco structure that was originally constructed in the 1920s. According to Stasny's statement to the Wall Street Journal, he updated the tile flooring, refurbished the kitchen, added a jacuzzi, and varnished the porches. Currently known as Corn Ranch, Bezos' aerospace startup Blue Origin is headquartered on this acreage, which he founded in 2000. Interesting fact, Bezos' purchase seems somewhat like going home because the internet tycoon spent 3 years of his childhood in Houston attending elementary school, while his stepfather worked as an engineer for Exxon. Bo was given a helicopter tour of Bezos' property in December 2023, and the publication estimated its total size to be over 400,000 acres, although it's unknown when Bezos added further land. A subterranean building constructed 500 feet below the surface, known as the 10,000-year clock, was discussed in the piece. It symbolizes contemplating the future, Sanchez stated. Bezos and Sanchez's combined modern family celebrates Thanksgiving at the 2-story main house with floor-to-ceiling windows on the property, along with the Kerman Line Bar, a ranch-style home transformed into a bar adorned with space memorabilia. The compound in Beverly Hills. The software tycoon subsequently turned his attention west, purchasing a $24.45 million Spanish-style property in Beverly Hills in 2007. The 11,891 square foot house is said to have several outdoor features dispersed over 2 acres, including a swimming pool, lighted tennis court, greenhouse, fountains, and a 6-car garage. It also has 7 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms distributed between the main house and a separate guest house. He paid $12.9 million for the house next door in 2017. Although there isn't much information available, the Los Angeles Times notes that the home is 4,586 square feet in size and has 4 bedrooms and 6 complete bathrooms. Residences in Kalorama, Washington, D.C. In late 2016, Bezos made a significant shift to Washington, D.C., purchasing 2 expansive residences totaling 27,000 square feet for $23 million. Constructed in 1914, the enormous pair of residences served as the location of the Textile Museum and were formerly recognized as among the biggest houses in Washington, D.C. According to reports, Bezos planned to renovate the property for $12 million in 2018 and add a garden room to one of the 2 buildings. Before the pandemic began in early 2020, the millionaire had his first social event at the mega mansion, inviting a diverse group of guests that included Ben Stiller, Ivanka Trump, and Mitt Romney. For a far more reasonable $5 million, Bezos began 2020 by buying a second home in Washington, D.C.'s Kalorama area. The Washingtonian claims that the estate is situated directly across the street from his previous residence, which is a textile museum. This has sparked rumors that the property's proximity to the Amazon founder's mega mansion was the main factor in his purchase. Mega mansion in Manhattan. Early in 2019, the founder of Amazon lavished $80 million on 3 Manhattan apartments with views of Madison Square Park. At the time, the Wall Street Journal published a story speculating that Bezos' extravagant acquisition might rank among the most costly real estate deals in New York City that year. In the end, though, a $240 million penthouse in Manhattan triumphed. A 10,000 square foot penthouse spanning 3 floors, featuring a grand ballroom, a library with a marble and glass fireplace, and a 7-room main suite were among the properties acquired. Additionally, a 3-bedroom unit beneath the penthouse with upscale finishes like Calcutta marble countertops and an adjacent 4-bedroom pad featuring oversized windows on 3 of its 4 sides were included. In April 2020, Bezos paid $16 million for a 3-bedroom apartment that was next to the 2 lower-level properties he had previously purchased, acquiring the 4th home in the opulent Madison Square Park apartment building. Although Bezos' plans to combine all 4 units were not made public at the time, building permits were filed in the fall of 2019, indicating that the 4th buy was probably intended to be an addition to the already impressive Manhattan mega mansion. Early in 2021, Bezos made a second investment in this home when he purchased a $23 million apartment in the same historic structure. His assets there now total $119 million and 24,551 square feet as a result. Bezos continues to operate these 5 units. The famous Beverly Hills residence owned by David Geffen. In terms of real estate, Bezos had a busy start to the new decade. He paid a record-breaking $165 million for David Geffen's storied Beverly Hills property in February 2020. There are even gas outlets and a service garage within the Great Motor Court. The main house's historic wood flooring is a prominent feature. It was brought in from abroad and is thought to have been the floor Napoleon walked on when he proposed to Empress Josephine. Bezos allegedly paid $90 million in the same month for a 120-acre undeveloped tract of land that belonged to the late Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, but the sale fell through. A few months later in July, Bezos expanded his holdings in Beverly Hills when he paid $10 million for the land next to Geffen's residence, a far more modest home but opulent by most people's standards. The seller has made numerous interior upgrades to this 4,615 square foot, 2-story conventional home with 3 bedrooms and 4.5 baths. The property has a considerable degree of historic dignity thanks to its French doors, 6 brick fireplaces, crown molding, and dark hardwood flooring. The grounds also include vegetable and rose gardens in addition to an outdoor brick courtyard. Bezos is still the owner of these 2 assets. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.